How did you guys meet?
I went for a job interview in a department store salon in the late 70s, and Orren was the manager, and he hired me.
Well, and I was in a relationship at the time. So I wasn't looking for anybody. I wasn't unhappy. But then he came in and I was just like blown away.
We sort of dated for a few weeks, and then within 3 months, we were moved in together. I was only 21 and it was disco days. So I wasn't really looking for a relationship personally. My intuition told me that this was it.
And we shouldn't do it because he was too young. He was just going out in the bars and having fun. I was settled down. I was with somebody. And we just said, we're not going to do this. And that lasted a whole weekend. It was kind of like maybe we were old friends that had been separated. It just happened. And it was just, this is the way it was supposed to be.
It wasn't a lot of brain thing. It was a heart thing. Orren's always been a really unique guy.
I think it's changed over the years, and we're obviously more comfortable with one another. We're probably more trustful with one another. The love has grown, but so has the companionship, especially now that we're getting older.
It's changed in the fact that being in our late 60s at this point, after 45 years, it's a little less physical and a little more, we're just more connected spiritually, I guess. We're just comfortable growing older together.
I think it's important for people to see. And we're in a long-term relationship, 45 years. So it didn't just happen yesterday. And I think it's particularly important for younger people to see that they can be involved in a long-term relationship.
How do you let the other have their individuality?
I was never a fan of tattoos. He just went off one day and got a tattoo. I knew nothing about it. And I was just like shocked. Even though I don't like tattoos, that's about me. That's not about him.
I think you can't control other people. You've got to let them grow also and express themselves.
Can you share like one of the most challenging moments that you both went through as a couple?
I have to say, emotionally, it was really, really tough during the AIDS crises. And salons were just emptying out with people that were dying day after day after day. I mean, it was hard to go home and be pleasant or even have a conversation sometimes because all I wanted to do was cry and know I have to get up the next day and start all over again.
Why was it important for you to be married?
We were soulmates. I mean, we really understood it as that, even from the beginning.
It was never really an option to leave. 30 years or more, we had to carry around with us a packet of papers so that if anything happened, we could take care of one another. It was just all about rights of survivorship. And the very day we could do it, we did it.
In a small way, we felt like an obligation because of all the people that fought for it all those years. And for us, on our 35th anniversary, it was more of a renewal.
What advice would you give others, in terms of like how to stay in a relationship?
You stay.
It's commitment. We were in a committed relationship for 35 years before we could get the paperwork and be married.
And it used to be even easier than it is now. Back in the day, you just got pissed off, you picked up your sack of shit and you left. You have to stay and you have to make it work. And we've always loved one another, but we haven't always liked one another.
There are times when you have to work through stuff personally, and you can't, sometimes as a couple you work through things. I can't rely on him for everything.
We don't have to be together. We want to be together.
Right.
What is your partner's most inspiring quality?
I would say his ability to listen.
His authenticity.
What was the most romantic gesture you've ever done for your partner?
And sometimes it's really small things like bringing me coffee in the morning or ordering flowers or just texting me in the middle of the day. I mean, it's all these little sweet things. They all mean a lot.
Who said I love you first?
Probably Orren.
Probably me. I'm sure I did. I mean, it was 45 years ago.
Yeah. I can't remember yesterday.